We communicated the improvements needed, completed a think tank session with our digital teams and identified the improvements would cost 500k. That was for things like, there was quite an extensive list there, but some of the key things I'll call out was a brand new online upgrade journey, an additional line journey where customers could sign up for new contracts and also click to call, and much more. I submitted a funding request and that was secured for the 500k. And then what we did was set a weekly advisor level sign up target and attach the 56% conversion rate for customers to click the email and complete the registration. We also had weekly and monthly winners to keep up the momentum, and we smashed our 1 million target. And now we have 1.14 million customers, and that's 89% of our EE base registered on our MyEE portal. We also launched auto registration at the point of sale to stop advisors having to promote the sign up on all calls. And we delivered a cost saving of 375k and a 5-point increase in NPS. If we just go to the next slide, please, Sharon. Part of what we did to drive digital adoption was work with our advisors on speech analytics. And this was really to shift the focus from registrations to active usage. And what we wanted to do is use a series of lexicons on each call to educate customers about what our MyEE portal could do. We then set a target of a 20% increase in active usage, and we broke that down into advisor, team and ops group level targets and really tracked that on weekly calls. We can go to the next slide. What we also did was we got all of our people together across all of our sites. We had 2 contact centres, one in Scotland and one in the Northeast. Myself and Chris Chance, who heads up SME service, completed 22 digital roadshows in a kind of Dragon's Den style with the guys. And that covered 250 service advisors. From that, we get 36 new ideas, and that would then form our phase 2 digital improvements. The agents really felt empowered, and it really kept up the momentum as we touched base regularly with them in terms of updates and what we were going to improve. We can move to the next slide, Sharon. Here are some pictures of our digital roadshow, and the key picture that we could call out here is when we hit 1 million registered customers. One of our advisors actually on the call at the time with the customer because we could track it real time. We made a great deal of noise about that. We brought out the balloons and he won a TV, which was really exciting. We can move on. What we also didn't want to do was just take feedback from advisors. So we then also spoke to our customers. And we've done that in terms of a behind the glass session in Leeds and London with different small business customers across all different competitors. We got a chance to sit down with customers, and what was kind of standing out from that was that we wanted a tool that would support them round the clock for all different business types, and particularly something that would support large businesses. We also got to show them new propositions, and one of the main things that stood out was an EE consumer leading proposition, which was data gifting. They absolutely loved the idea and wondered why they couldn't have it for business, and we now have a project up and running to deliver data gifting, so it was really great to have our customers included in that feedback. So after listening to our customers and advisor feedback, we then built an investment case and a roadmap for the future to further enhance the digital capability. That included a new customer management tool and further MyEE improvements. The new customer management tool will digitalise and move from a Citrix platform to a web-based platform from advisors. And we'll see handle time savings as it will be more streamlined and aligned to digital, and it will give us better integration. We secured 1.16 million in CapEx to deliver this, and there will be 9 million in benefits, but that's not our only focus. For our advisors, this will free up more time for their development and investment, and also allow customers to do more transactional queries online, free up time for complex queries, and it will deliver a more proactive and preemptive experience. We'll also create a better customer experience, and this will support our customers to grow and profit their business, giving them the ability to manage their account on the go. I'll now hand over to Chris Essler to talk about what it means from a team leader perspective.
Hi guys. So for me, originally it was about the sign-up journey and making sure customers knew that we had a service that they could use and rely on. I focused on breaking the number down, a target number down to a manageable number for each agent, and I used my CI board to track that. My team continually finished in the top 3 each week and month. There was prizes across the floor, which really helped drive digital adoption and promotion across the floor. Something that really helped was the introduction of speech analytics, as this enabled me to review a call and coach back on effective conversations, as they were able to pinpoint exactly that part of the call where the digital conversation had taken place. Next, as Nicola mentioned, Chris and Nicola had held digital roadshows. This was Dragon's Den style, and it was an opportunity for the teams to feedback on improvements and what our customers are telling them that they wanted to see. Basically, that was something that was simple, really easy to use at their fingertips. Through CI, tracking the registrations on our board and effective coaching, we saw this number rise until we reached that magic 1 million registrations, which we didn't think would be possible. For me, our customers and our teams, it meant different things. So customers could get access to what they needed at their fingertips. They didn't have to wait to get through and speak to someone. For the teams, it meant creating that space of availability between calls. It created opportunities to try something different, and it let the teams focus on who really needed to speak to us. For myself, it created an opportunity for me to try something different in the form of a chat trial. Straight away, we could see things that we could improve. I created a bug board to capture feedback from chats that come into us that should be going to a different team, to chats that could have been resolved using my EE. This is where the results off the back of the trial really helped shape what we do today. We noticed 60% of our customers we spoke to in chat told us that they would have called. We knew it were making a difference, particularly in a historically busy period for us. We could also see that half the chats that we were getting could have been resolved if the customer was able to self-serve. The feedback from our trial allowed Nicola and Charlene and the team to create Bertie. This directed customers to the right place with minimal effort. It also enabled the customer to self-serve their queries with ease and confidence. When I look back over the last few months, it's really clear that during this current pandemic, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did, which was train over 200 agents on chat and get them home safely within 2 weeks if we didn't lay the groundwork, which we did during the chat trial and creating Bertie. Thank you.
Actually, we can't hear you, probably because you shared your screen without the sound. So you should stop sharing your screen and just start again, and that should be fine.
Sure, let me just try that now. It's not giving me any option to add sound. Can you hear that?
Yeah, so in the left corner below, when you click share your screen, you need to tick just share with a sound button.
I don't have that option. Sorry, when we were demoing this, we weren't using Zoom. So I think in the interest of time, I'm quite happy to skip over the video. It will be a shame to lose Karen's voice from the presentation. But I think the story that Karen tells is brilliant in terms of how the people were motivated. So Karen was lucky enough to win an Apple HomePod from the incentive we run. She gifted that to her daughter when she was moving out. So it's a really personal story about how our motivation and engagement really drove her personal life. Moving on to the next slide, if I can.
after Karen's slide, we move on to the launch of live chat within small business. So as Chris touched on, initially we launched a live chat pilot with 4 agents. It was a brilliant development opportunity for those agents because previously they had handled calls. For live chat, we've partnered with LivePerson, who we believe are the market leaders for all things chat, messaging and AI, and with a really brilliant experience with them. The chat pilot was a great success. Customer feedback was amazing. As you can see on the right-hand side, we've had some really brilliant comments. And the key case for us was that customers were really happy that they could use chat whilst running their businesses and speaking to their customers at the same time. In terms of performance, the chat pilot blew voice out of the water. So first call resolution or first chat resolution was better on chat than it was on our voice channels. The same as NPS, so customers were giving us better results when we're engaging with them using chat. Following the success, we quickly rolled out a full-scale chat launch with 8 agents. These agents worked their core hours and were available between 8 AM and 10 PM 7 days a week to serve as customers. Following the success of the chat pilot, we really wanted to deep dive the data to understand if there was opportunities for a chatbot. The data from our chat teams told us that 64% of queries on chat could actually be resolved end by end using self-service. This gave us a brilliant business case to create a chatbot, and we knew that we wanted the chatbot to refer our customers to customer service, really touch on that digital adoption that we'd done previously, and get the customers to resolve their queries using MyEE. Building the chatbot was a great experience. Again, we collaborated with LivePerson, who were excellent and gave us lots of advice. When creating the bot, there were 3 things that we wanted to focus on as objectives. As mentioned before, we wanted to have a self-serve resolution, but it was also really important that we had a fallback available to agents. So if the customer did need further help, there was a human there to assist them. We also wanted to bring in seamless transfers and help the customers get to the right place first time. So if they're not a business customer, we can transfer them to the right team. This was a real benefit for us because when we had our chat pilot, this wasn't possible at the start of the conversation, and it's really helped our NPS.
Sorry to interrupt, but your time is over. I'll probably give you another 30 seconds to just wrap it up so that we can move into Q&A.
Yeah, of course. So we made our bot available 24/7. The bot's available to help customers on all of our help and support pages. On the left-hand side, you can see a demo of the bot. It starts off with a really friendly greeting, and the customer can choose their queries from the left-hand menu. Since launching the bot, it's handled over 60,000 conversations, and we're really delighted that over 48% of those conversations landed in our customer service team, with the other 51% being resolved in the bot. So we know that the bot's doing its job. It's also supported us during coronavirus. We're able to add in quick tactical updates within 24 hours to support our customer queries. This was amazing as our volumes increased by 400% during coronavirus. In terms of benefits to our business, due to Bertie handling 51% of queries, we're able to free up 8 people, which is a 125k saving. As a business, that's been fantastic. Going back to the customer feedback, we always put the customer at the heart of the design. So as you can see on screen now, we've had some fantastic results from our customers. These are all real comments. The key themes that have come out is that the bot is helpful, knowledgeable, and quick, which is exactly what we wanted when designing the bot. We've been really over the moon with the performance from Bertie so far, but it doesn't end there. Going forward, we'll be improving Bertie, adding authentication and APIs, which will allow us to communicate more personally with our customers and enhance the conversation with account information.
Charlotte, thank you. Sorry, you've gone over time, so I have to ask you to stop. But I wanted to just open it up for questions and thank the team for the presentation. So over to the fellow judges for any questions that they may have.
Well, thanks, guys, for your presentation. That was really good. One of the things I'd really love to know, because you just started getting into Bertie then, was what are the kind of key differentiators that you guys delivered through Bertie that you would say make it stand out from other chatbots that other companies may be using?
I think the main thing that we offer is a 24/7 experience. When looking at other companies, their chatbots don't seem to be live all of the time. So they may make them available only on specific pages, only after visiting that page for a specific length of time. Whereas with us, Bertie's always there. So the minute you launch the page, Bertie's available to speak to you, and that doesn't change no matter what time of day or what day of the week you visit the chatbot on.
Cool. And also, what are your kind of future plans for Bertie? How clever do you see him or her becoming over time? With what other services do you feel that she'll be able to start supporting?
I think
So
for
we know
us,
that.
sorry, Charlene.
Go ahead, Nicola. No.
Sorry, what I was going to say was at the moment, the amount that Bertie's handling is kind of outstanding because we don't have the API integration. What we're doing is identifying from the chats what self-serve options are there and directing the customer to those answers or self-help guides. The future of Bertie would be to integrate it with APIs. We'll soon be able to do authentication, so we won't need to verify our customers because it will be linked through my EE portal as it does for click to call. So really being a lot more proactive and preemptive and being able to relate to the customer on a more personal level. For billing queries, we expect Bertie to be able to identify the bill and notify exactly what the charges are and be more specific in terms of being able to change add-ons and features as well. So really being personal and more along the lines of what our customers are saying and really making that personal experience through a bot. But the key thing is that there's always an advisor on the other end of that if the customer isn't happy and does need to speak to someone. And it's really clear when you're speaking to a bot and when you're speaking to an advisor from the outset.
And can you only chat to Bertie through the EE portal or whatever it is, or is it using conversational commerce? Can you use WhatsApp or other ways to communicate with it?
We are we're looking at launching WhatsApp shortly. We have launched WhatsApp in our BT Mobile space and we're using Bertie there already. More of a routing bot at the moment because we don't have much self-serve with BT Mobile. Once we develop self-serve, we'll do that and then we will bring WhatsApp along onto EE as well. One thing that we are doing at the moment is we've launched digital wraps, which is a pocketbook that we send down to customers' devices, and we use that from the IVR as deflection messages. And we can link Bertie into those wraps as well. And it's not just a logged in portal, it's on all of our logged out and help and support pages as well.
I have one question. What was the biggest challenge in the implementation of this capability?
I think the biggest challenge, and Charlene, you may want to step in here, the biggest challenge was really making sure that we had reviewed the transcripts accurately to understand what conversations Bertie could handle. We are quite lucky in the EE space because we have a full knowledge management base called Albert. So Bertie is the female version of Albert. And that meant that we could lift and shift a lot of that content across. So the challenge was really to understand what our customers wanted and needed from us and understand what needed to be routed to a human versus what could be handled in the bot. And then from there, there's a lot of hard work from Charlene and the teams that handle chat as well to continuously update the intent. And that's done in conjunction with LivePerson as well to just make sure that we're continuously recognising what customers need and want, whether they search or whether they choose the buttons available within Bertie.
I think as well, making the conversations natural and adding in that personalised element. So what we've seen is in some bots that we reviewed was there wasn't much acknowledgement. So the customer could type their query and the bot would go straight into resolution mode where it wasn't given that seamless conversation. So we introduced quite a lot of personality, such as like, great, thank you, that's brilliant, would love to have you on board. And we feel that that really gave a personal element to the bot, but the challenge in that was trying to make the customer learn that it is still a bot they're speaking to. It's not a human, but getting that fine balance between recognising that, but also giving a good experience in the conversation.
Thank you.
A question from me, that's okay. Can you elaborate a little bit more about the metrics KPIs you've achieved? I did notice in your first couple of opening slides, you hit your target of 1 million registrations, and I think there was a couple of stats around adoptions in the range of 22 to 35%. What are plans to increase those sort of numbers?
Yep. So what we're doing just now is we are working on our operational digital adoption plan, and we're moving, I spoke about lexicons in there through a system that we use called NICE. We're going to commit to a further 20% uplift in active usage this year. And we will do that through a new piece of kit, which is called Nexidia. And that's the move to Nexidia came with our call routing platform switch. So we plan to do a further increase in digital adoption by another 20%. And in the chat space, we're really looking at increasing the FCR. When we did the chat trial, as Chris touched on, we did see the FCR on chat was coming in at 4 points higher than it was on voice, and our NPS was on par. What we really want to do is uplift that NPS and then get further integration into chat and just make sure that we're pointing customers for those transactional queries into chat. And I think how we'll do that is we'll do a lot more IVR call deflection. As I said, we've got wraps on there at the moment, which points to digital pocketbooks. But what we want to do is give the customer the option when they come through is if they want to wait in the IVR, if they want to jump straight into Bertie, and that's where WhatsApp will come in. And then we look to shift around between 15 and 30% of our volumes from the IVR into WhatsApp, and that will start a chat through Bertie. So really pushing a lot more digital conversations, reducing the effort for the customer, because in a few months' time, I think in about 6 weeks, we will be able to launch verification within the bot, which will make it a lot easier for customers as well. So those are the commitments that we're making at the moment. As well as investing, as I said, in that 1.16 million capex to really make the experience for advisors and customers a lot more seamless through a new CRM and further MyEE portal improvements.
That's great. Thank you. I don't think we have any other questions. So thank you so much for your presentation.